Hi guys and girls, it's the Jeep Doctor at gmail.com. It's the Jeep Doctor's YouTube page, and today we have a how-to on wheel spacers. So one of the more popular models is Spider Tracks. A lot of people do these for to space your wheels out, give you a little more, tire outside the fender, a little bit more meaner look. Maybe you have a rim that doesn't exactly have the right offset, but you want them for your Jeep. I particularly bought mine because I wanted to put later model 07 and up JK Rubicon wheels on my TJ. So Spider Tracks makes them. To me, they're a little expensive. There's lots of high quality alternatives out there. I'm sure Spider Tracks is a wonderful product, but I actually purchased these from a company on eBay. There's plenty of options out there. So what this wheel spacer has is a 4.5 on 5 lug pattern for a TJ on the holes, and then it has a 5 on 5 lug pattern on the studs. So anyway, what you want to make sure you have a nice clean mating surface here. So slide your wheel spacer on your existing lugs, and these wheel spacers came from the company, and it had these 12 by 1.5 thread pitch lug nuts with it on these studs. Well, our Jeeps are not. They're a half inch lug nut that fit the studs. So your standard Jeep lug nut, you can actually go to your local parts store and buy yourself 20 of these things, but I chose not to. I chose to actually take my decorative lug nuts, take my cutoff wheel, and just cut the acorn cap off of it. And they actually work pretty good. And the reason your regular acorn caps won't work is because when it sits down in there, the acorn cap sticks out just a little too far. So, but anyway, so one of the more important things about wheel spacers is you want to make sure that you use, here it is, thread locker on your nuts that are going onto your original studs. So, and the thing about thread locker is a little bit goes a long way. So, and you want to just make sure you just got a little dab on there, put them at the beginning of the threads here, and that way when you go to put your lug nuts on, it'll just run down through the threads. So I personally used blue. A lot of people use red. It's a little bit stronger. So hand start your lug nuts. I can't stress that enough. This is not the time when you want to be cross-threading your lugs. A lot of people get carried away and they want to just slide this on the end of their socket, on the end of their impact, and just zip it on there. Save yourself an hour of taking a stud out by spending 30 seconds hand screwing your lug nuts on. So I've got my trusty snap-on 18-volt impact. Just going to run these in like you would a regular wheel. Just going to barely bump them down at first. Cross lug pattern, of course. And these wheel spacers are lug centric. They're not hub centric, they're lug centric. Most of the time you don't run into a hub centric wheel spacer except for maybe on a front wheel drive car, or I've actually heard that most dually wheel spacers are hub centric. But these are lug centric, which means the lug nuts is what centers it up. So now I'm just going to zip these down. And ideally these things want to be torqued to about 100 to 125 foot-pounds. As you can see that it barely sticks up just a little bit, but that's fine because the back of my wheel actually has some indentions in it that slide right over that. So, but anyway, from there on out, you just take your stock wheel, or whatever wheel you're putting back on here, slide it on and bolt it in like you would a normal wheel. So, but that's really all there is to it, to putting wheel spacers on your Jeep. So try to take a little bit of the mystery out of it. If you have any questions, please feel free to email me. It's thejeepdoctor@gmail.com, or leave a post up in the comments and I will try to return it as quick as possible. Thanks, guys.